Morning and welcome to TV47 Breakfast. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. Yes, a quick look at the headlines this morning and the big stories on X. Of course, Sele and Njugush still top trending news. I do not know why Kenyans are simply obsessed with this couple. Anyway, we'll be here to tell you more on that. And being a Friday, we'll be having the youth perspective, talking about youth leadership, what they prefer, what they do not prefer. Remember, it's only about 3 or 4 more days left before the mass voter registration exercise comes to an end. How many young people wanasema ati wako kadi? How many have registered? Ama ni kelele tu? How come all their hashtags simply last for a few more weeks? Just 2-3 weeks and it's done. It was Sifuna at some point. Niko kadi at some point. All this do not last long enough. Plus, the big question, do the youth themselves trust youth leadership as opposed to traditional politicians? And that is a question we'll be seeking to answer today as we take a look at the youth perspective. Today being a Friday, it is a feel-good Friday here. So in a moment or two, you'll be seeing our weekend Q, Bansi Kimui, joining me right here on set to discuss this and a lot more. But yes, my colleague... yes, I'm told that she's on her way. In a few minutes, she'll be joining us. Unajua inategemea amepakwa rangi kiasi gani ndo aweze kuingia kwa set. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the trending topics. And as I had mentioned, in as far as X is concerned, Njugush and Wakavinya split exposes asset dispute over matatus and mansion. That's the biggest story on X today in as far as Kenya is concerned. The second story, Gaucho joins Mama Lucy Hospital board amid debate over credentials. Yes, Gaucho's appointment to the board of Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital still causing a lot of debate. Again, Gaucho claiming that Raila Odinga backed his hospital board appointment. That's another big story. And as far as X is concerned, trending topics. And yes, Bansi Kimuyu is here. Good morning. You're looking lovely this morning.
Nice to see you, Freddie. It's been a hot minute, but I'm so lucky that I walked in when you were talking about Gaucho, because the memes about Gaucho on Twitter are sending me.
But what is the biggest concern? I don't get it. It's a board appointment. Why are people so concerned that Gaucho got that appointment? We've seen people on boards of different parastatals. What's the big deal?
Well, the allegations on social media is that now goons are being appointed to lead boards. And what does Gaucho know about leading? Because now the argument is, and this are the memes that are making rounds on Twitter, yeah? Kuna mtu amesema ati akitisha x-ray amesema wachana na x-ray leteni major. X-ray ni msanii.
And I'm being told that you should sit on this side. Because the ladies usually sit on this side.
Fantastic.
You want to drive a conversation properly. But I still don't get the obsession with that. And we'll be talking about Njugush and Wakavinya. There's this thing about social media and Kenyans. Once they get onto a topic, they stick there for a while. Gaucho is on the... I've seen him in the headlines inside the papers. We'll be looking at them shortly. But Wakenya wakikuamulia, wamekuamulia.
Ni mpaka mwisho.
Mpaka mwisho.
But this whole Wakavinya and Njugush story. You know, unajua kuna wale couples unaona ni kioo cha jamii.
That's too much of a burden to place on any human being.
It's very, very true. But I mean, the fact that they've been together a very long time, it's not something that people predicted would happen.
I've seen couples that have been together longer, even break up, and it's never this much of a big deal. If you go through any social media page, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, even X, I'm struggling to get any other piece of news. As in, una scroll to even ask to Selewa.
Move on.
Yeah, let's talk about something else.
I agree. And the fact that Njugush put out a statement this week, I think is what has triggered this story twice as much, because it's a story that broke out some time back, but not with this magnitude.
Yes.
Immediately after Njugush put out a statement, now it's been speculations over speculations. Hadi watu wanasema he had all his wealth. He had registered it under his mom.
Is it even true, or is it just speculation?
I just think it's...
Plus, I'm struggling to even find any new angle to that story. You just see the same things, people repeating themselves. Oh, gee, women are this, women are the other. Kibe said this, Kibe said... There's nothing new to that story.
Absolutely.
To be honest, Kenyans, please, let's move on. Because unless you're telling us something new, there's nothing else to talk about.
These are two grown adults.
Yeah.
If the time has come to end things, we accept as Kenyans and move on, because I've seen celebrities saying, oh, like the Wajiza's family were like, oh, we're going to come together, we're going to try and sit these two people together and make sure they come back.
Some of their friends knew there was crisis here. How come they did not help at that time, at that early
Maybe
opportunity?
they tried. Maybe it just didn't work out.
Okay, fine. If it didn't, it didn't.
It didn't. Like, don't force issues.
Kenyans, my request today is, Kenyans, please, let's move on. Let's move on. Let them be. It's their life.
Agreed. I completely agreed, Fred.
All right. So, yes, you can talk to us through our social media pages at TV47 Kenya on Facebook, YouTube, where we're streaming live, Instagram, and TV47 Digital on X. My handle on X is at Fred Indimuli.
At Miss_Kimuyu.
Yes, and make sure you use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast, hashtag Story Ni Yetu. Let's take a look at the weather. All right, a quick look at different towns across the country. Bomet promises to be cloudy today, highs of 28 degrees, currently 13 degrees the lowest. Kisii, something similar there. It's also cloudy, highs of 27 degrees, lows of 16. Kilifi is the same, but we do expect some light rains in Kilifi, highs of 28 degrees as well. Country in Busia, thunderstorms expected, but highs of 27 degrees, and it would appear 27 is the average across the country. Lows of 18 degrees, quite warm there. In Kitui, light rain expected as well, highs of 26 degrees. The same in Nairobi. Light rains expected today, highs of 24 degrees, which is fair weather, lows of 15. Not so bad, but weekend inakani kama kutakuwa na mvua hapa na pale. All right, let's take a look at the dailies this morning. A bag of different things here. Being a Friday, ni kama hakuna kitu moja. Tunaweza sema it is a big deal hapa.
It's true.
I know you don't like politics, but leo lazima tuzungumzie siasa.
Najua, and I mean, mi nataka kuanza na huko nyuma, because from treble winners to now very terrible.
Wewe mbona
what's happening, Fred?
Mbona unaleta hiyo story tena?
Arsenal, what's going on?
Unajua wa director today ni mtu wa Man U. Na the whole week kila saa unasikia tu hapo ukiongeleshwa tu hapa Man U, siongee Man U. Man U ni nani sasa?
Okay, what's wrong with you guys? How can you be on top of the table for the better part of the season and then last minute
the story
you bottle
is it is not done yet, and that is one thing people need to understand.
Okay.
Bado kuna 5 games to go. It could still go either way. It is not done yet.
Landlord amekuja nyumba yake, kiateka mmefukuzwa. Landlord in this case being Man City.
Acha tungoje. Right now, if anyone slip ups between the two teams, uko nje. A draw, a loss, that's it. Right now it's perfection we're looking at. And the number of goals.
The rule now is kila mtu ashinde game zake.
Na ongeze mabao. Na ongeze mabao. 1-0 win will not assist anyone. Sahi ni 3-4. Yeah. But Arsenal fans you can tell wameumia because kila mahali unaenda watu Arsenal ni kama tu. I don't know. Nimbone inatufanyikia.
Is there an Arsenal curse? I'm starting to believe that. You guys are just in love with being number 2.
Anyway, let's take a look at the local dailies. All right, we start with the Weekend Star because it is fresh, independent, and different. And you can grab yourself a copy of this paper for 60 bob in Kenya, 1,000 shillings in Tanzania, 2,000 bob in Uganda. So Ruto stalls ODM UDA fallout, picks Wanga and Barire to lead talks. So he has picked 2 women to lead these talks. ODM UDA remain on the front pages, and you can see a very nice picture. Wanasema wanataka power na respect. That's why they're there on the front pages. Audit exposes 20 plus parastatals in financial mess and surviving on loans. That's another story on pages 4 and 5. Kiamaiko goes digital. How tech is reshaping Kenya's meat industry. Have you ever been to Kiamaiko? The slaughterhouse. It's one of the main slaughterhouses in Nairobi.
No, I haven't been to Kiamaiko, but I've been to the one in Dagoretti.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I've been to that one.
Tell me you buy your meat from there.
No, I don't. But I have been there at least once. Yeah, so
what was the experience like? Traumatizing.
I'll just get it from the butchery, guys.
There's so much blood. And
I'm okay. I'll get it from the butchery. It's fine.
Kiamaiko, I'm told by my director who knows everything about everything that it's they focus on goats. Zile za kutoka Garissa.
Oh.
Nyama ya mbuzi inatoka Kiamaiko.
Okay. That's my best meat.
You prefer goat?
Goat meat is goated.
Oh, it's goated. I like that one.
All right, let's take a look at what is headlining the Standard newspaper. 8 billion shilling dirty fuel bill. When MT Paloma docked in Mombasa, it delivered more than fuel. It exposed a brazen scheme that left motorists exposed to inflated costs and questionable quality. Ibe ya mafuta, Freddy. Is it doing the thing to you?
You see now when they talked about, this is the consignment of fuel that led to the resignation or rather firing of 3 top officials. Now I think this paper, and the Standard does us justice over and over again, they go deeper. Like unajua, we've always been accused as a media that you come up with a big headline and a big scandal, then after 2 days you've forgotten about it and you've moved on. Standard imekataa ku move on. Because wanasema kuna pesa lazima tulipe.
Yeah.
Whether or not we took that fuel, we have to pay these businessmen. 8 billion shilling bill. They said that fuel was never offloaded. Are you sure it was never offloaded? Are you sure it's not what you're driving on right now? Are you sure the matatu you're using right now or this morning is not using this fuel? Because what they're saying hapa, even after Energy CS, Opio and I ordered the consignment withdrawn, the fuel was not removed from the system. Because apparently it had already been offloaded into the system. You can't remove it from the pipeline. Yeah. So One Petroleum, which is a company that brought that consignment, has since issued invoices worth billions of shillings to oil marketers for the same cargo. It now raises a hard question. At the heart of the affair was Wandai managing public outrage with an order he knew could not be enforced, or were the forces behind the deal too powerful to be stopped? Because they said, the CS said, amesema hiyo mafuta isitolewe kwa meli, irudishwe kule ilitoka. But the truth of the matter is that that fuel must have been pumped into Kenya's system. And once you do that, utaitoaje kwa pipeline urudishe kwa meli? So the guy who brought the fuel and is there on the front page, amesema yeye amepeana invoice. Walipwe tu. Because sisi tuleta, wanasema waleta mafuta. Walipwe. Okay. Inside pages, that story about malaria. Experts warn of growing malaria drug resistance. Watu wamekula madawa ya malaria mpaka sasa hata ukimeza dawa ya malaria ikusaidii.
Mwili imeamua kuresist.
Na resist. You know, like wale watu kunywa pombe. Sisemi wewe unakunywa pombe, mimi sijui.
Umesema wale watu.
Wale watu wanakunywa pombe.
Mimi nimetokea wapi kwa hii conversation?
Wale watu wanakunywa pombe, wewe inafika level fulani anakunywa lakini halewi. Anakunywa inafika tu anagonga plateau tolerance level. Anakunywa tu na halewi. Sasa hivyo ndio imefika madawa ya malaria. You're just taking medication and not getting well. Kenya, Uganda to build oil refinery in Tanzania. Remember Uganda at some point was saying they're going to build their own pipeline from Tanzania because here Kenya mulikuwa mmeleta shida sana.
Yeah.
And then they ended up buying Kenya Pipeline Company. They have a good stake in Kenya Pipeline Company. Now, Kenya and Uganda are going to join up and build a refinery in Tanzania. The refinery that was here in Kenya was closed down. We said we no longer want to engage in refining crude oil. We'll be importing already refined oil. So why are we going back to that business of refining oil in Tanzania? You know, sometimes
1 + 1 is not becoming 2 anymore.
By the way, it's not working out. I'm looking for any other story that would be of interest to Kundani. On page 10, proposal to give students IDs faces hurdles. Yesterday there was something on the papers about the Speaker of the National Assembly saying MPs should be the one distributing IDs that have remained uncollected. About 500,000 IDs. Do you think it is right for MPs to be the one distributing IDs?
No, I don't. Wacha tu kila mtu abaki na kazi yake.
But the other question is, why are people not going to collect their IDs? 500,000 IDs?
Because to be honest, I feel like that's a personal initiative. It narrows down to you as a person. Fred, unajua unafaa kuwa na ID.
Na ni wewe ulienda na uka-apply.
Mbona hujaendea? Like, why is it now an MP problem?
Because one thing is, no one is given an ID without applying. So this 500,000 Kenyans applied for IDs, but they're simply not collecting them.
You know, Kenyans will like to complain, but we're also part of the problem.
It's a Gen Z problem, by the way.
Come on.
I know that argument. Surely, why do you apply for IDs and not collect them? Who do you expect to collect for you?
It's true.
Ama unangojea mzazi akuletee, aende kwa chief akuletee ID. Acha mchezo bwana.
It's true. Speaking of Gen Zs, you saw what IBC said? They're not going to extend the registration.
Yes. Today is actually 24th. This extension is only going on till 28th. So 4 more days.
Yeah. I saw someone complaining on X saying the truth and the fact of the matter is that young people are not registering as
They are not.
voters.
So what happened to that hashtag, Nikokadi, kila mali Nikokadi, na hakuna registration?
Is it 1 million plus new registrations?
Yeah.
I think I saw the number.
Yeah.
And if that's the factual number,
the estimates, initially, they were very optimistic. They were saying they're going to register about 6.3 million people. Then the IBC said, okay, fine, for this 30-day period, we just hope to register 2.3 million, not even the 6 million. Now you're saying that only 1 million people showed up.
Yep.
Na ikelele yote online, okay, wacha nisiongee vibaya.
Fred, do what you have against Gen Zs, but yeah, we have to give it to them. They're trying.
Trying what? You're not collecting IDs, you're not registering as voters, ni hashtag too.
Like I said, it narrows down to an individual. This million young people who have registered, they've done their part. Tuseme kuna wenye too, they are not doing their part as young people.
Anyway, 1 million people is still something.
Yeah, it's still
1 million new voters on the register, it's still something.
Absolutely.
Kule ndani nilikuwa nafikiria kuna hii magazine yao ya weekends.
Iko hapa, I can see the Pulse newspaper.
Na ile picha iko hapo, acha tu.
Spotlighted there is DJ Coco, but I specifically want to talk about what is on page 2 of the Pulse. It's called Hits in Seconds, yeah? And on this picture, tuko na msanii BN, we have Alikiba, Major, Iyani, and Dufla. Now, there's a brand new song. Just 4 weeks into the market, BN, two East African giants, BN and Alikiba, came together.
I've heard that song.
Finally, it's being played everywhere.
Basi, I've heard that one.
Refari, uliza kipenga. Watu wa Arsenal hivyo ndio mko kila time. Anyway, but just 4 weeks in, and the song has 18 million views on
18
YouTube.
million views.
18 million. No wonder the title Hits in Seconds.
Is it the same thing they're saying for Major?
Major dropped his album, his first ever album of his career. It's called Mtoto wa Hadija. Now he has a song inside the album called Siaka. Siaka. I'm sure you have seen the challenge.
I saw my producer trying to do that challenge.
But yeah, Siaka is doing really well. I'm seeing American content creators have jumped on the challenge. So it means like it's a challenge that's gone international. Iyani, we know him for hits, hit songs, hit dances. And I really appreciate what Kenyan artists are doing to the Kenyan music scene and how Kenyans are actually now consuming Kenyan music.
But there's something about the challenges that help some of these songs trend, like what Major has done with that Siaka. I saw my producer trying to do it, and anasema tiendo alifunga challenge. But how successful was it? But do you see something there's a growing trend with shaking parts of the body that were initially not being so much used, and I saw those girls are now getting deals as influencers.
Yeah.
So TikTok dancing, apart from just marketing the songs, it actually benefits the dancers.
It does benefit the dancers. And I mean, it's because it could be a wave. There was a time where Anguka Nai was the thing. There was a time where another dance was the thing. But right now, Siaka is the one that's
and just shaking your bosom can actually earn you money. I never thought in my long life.
That are now using these ladies to actually sell their products.
I never thought that in my long life I would ever see a day when shaking your bosom or doing whatever it is
it's marketing.
It's actually marketing.
Times have changed.
I know Dombolo and okay, I'm a bit from back then.
Dombolo is crazy.
We used to shake our legs. People started shaking their derriere. Now they're shaking their bosoms and they're earning money from it, and they're actually making songs trend.
Game is game.
Well, interesting.
Game is game. For as long as you're able to put money in your pocket, I don't see why not. And I'm so happy on what is happening right here on page 3, because we have constantly been seeing DJs. Okay, the DJ industry is, honestly, it's a male-dominated industry. But they have highlighted DJ Coco. DJ Coco on the beat. Nairobi's nightlife, much like the global scene, has long been nominated by meals. From headliners, club residencies to the DJs who dictate the sound of the city's most coveted nights, the decks have often tilted in one direction. But a new wave of female DJs are carving out space with skill, presence, and undeniable crowd control. We introduce to you DJ Coco.
Interesting.
I mean, DJs kwanza waliambiwa watakuwa wanalipa 30,000 per year.
For royalties.
Royalties.
Because they do not produce any music, they just use people's music.
Sasa wanauliza DJ 38K.
Yeah.
Akishatoa 30K.
Hiyo 8K inaenda
8K itamsaidia kweli. But let's talk matters fashion, which is still inside Pulse as we finish. Ice baby, and this pastel blue colors. Pastel has become such a dominant thing in the fashion industry. Do you know those colors?
What are those?
Pastel colors.
Pastel?
Yeah.
What does
so
that
it's
mean?
like pink, but it's a cute shade of pink. Somewhat like what Chalo is wearing today.
Chalo is our cameraman. Na amevaa pink leo.
But in a trend, and it's working. You should try a pastel color. It will look dope on you.
Acha tungoja. I think I prefer blue any day.
Freddie, the influencer illusion, do you believe in it?
What exactly are you talking about? The influencer? The ones on social media?
Yeah. Illusion. The lives that they live.
Aha. That's a big debate.
It is.
Because my biggest concern is that they portray a very positive lifestyle. Everything is good. Are they saying they never have a downtime? They never have... You know, in life you go up and go down. So wale inakuanga tu hapa juu. Everything is beautiful.
I like to take influencing as TV because...
Make believe.
Yeah, because even you probably have things you're going through, but...
Nikikuja hapa kuna siwezi wa show.
What's it to show? Like, it's just what it is that people are not documenting their failures. Okay. But there are influencers who actually document when they're going through a hard time. And now the problem with the Kenyan market is that when you're going through a hard time, wanakugeuzia. Unaona? I remember, is it Kaluma Boy?
Yes.
Kaluma Boy walimchangia, he elevated his life. Now anytime, even if he posts a picture of him eating a burger, he's like, tulikuchangia, pesa yetu ndo tumii kukula burger. Yo. Wow. Kenyans can turn on you, Fred.
The Pulse, a lot of weekend stuff there.
A lot of weekend stuff, a lot of shows happening this weekend as well. Nameless is having a concert in August. I like to see legendary artists that you grew up listening to.
Oh, yes.
Right?
No, definitely.
I wonder why I didn't see you at the show, man. Why didn't you come to Nyashinski's show?
Unajua nyinyi watu mmegatekeep hata shows. Unasikia ilikuwa.
You don't follow Nyashinski. That's why you didn't know. But
Nyashinski is a great artist anyway.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a quick look at the other headlines. Araka Araka, Lake Mountain, big reset for 2027 on the Daily Nation. They're simply talking about the numbers back in 2022 and the numbers now. And the projections are crazy. They say, for example, Mount Kenya region, they are about 5 million voters back in 2022. The projection for next year, 7 million. So that's a big story on the front page of the Daily Nation. Tree planting world record. Kuna jamaa sasa wameacha ile tree hugging. Anataka kuplant world record for the most trees planted in 24 hours. He has planted more than 23,000 trees.
Wow.
In 24 hours.
Wow.
So that's a big story on the front page of the Daily Nation.
But that's a good thing rather than just hugging.
Oh yeah, by the way, I think it's better to plant a tree instead of hugging. Taifa Leo, vyama vya kamua wawaniaji. And they're just talking about how aspirants have to pay parties to get the party tickets ahead of 2027. It is 15 months to the next election. Na watu wanatoa pesa kutoa. Aha. All right, so that's Taifa Leo, and a quick look at the Business Daily. KRA opens till and pay bills tax crackdown. Kama uko na biashara na unatumia pay bill na
till number.
KRA wanakutafuta.
They're coming for you.
Oh, they're coming for you. Hakuna kujificha. Sana naona watu wanaenda pochi, wengine wanasema send money, wengine wanasema withdraw.
Cash.
Do you think we'll ever go back to that cash economy?
Do you know the shops in town that don't take anything that's not cash? Kama ni M-Pesa, enda pale to withdraw.
Ulete your cash.
Later cash. Like we don't deal with mobile money or anything else. So it actually happens. Kuna watu hata wanalipa mshahara cash. Maybe it were tax, maybe it's just their system that they like.
All right. Let's cross the border and take a look at what's big in Uganda. Finally, Uganda wamefikiwa na mashida ya mafuta. The Daily Monitor front page, wanaita national drought. Who is pumping the fuel crisis? We were saying this with Anne for the past 2 weeks, that Kenya was talking about fuel prices at some point. We stopped. Then Tanzania were talking about fuel prices. Oh, fuel prices hapa na pale. Now, Uganda was not talking about fuel prices. No,
walikuwa sawa.
Walikuwa tu sawa.
And now they're the ones that are doing terribly.
Na kuambia, from Karamoja to Kigezi, from West Nile to Eastern Uganda, as well as the capital Kampala, motorists are now crowding fuel stations where they paid more for a litre of fuel and diesel. In other cities and districts, they are simply turned away after long waits because the pumps are dry. Kama uko na gari Uganda, pole sana. Tuangalie
because they are not runners like us.
Hawajui kukimbia.
They can't be running to work.
MPs differ university degree for teachers, that's a new vision. Na kuna naona Mudavadi Museveni. Hiyo story ya refinery, ile joint refinery, Kenya joins Uganda's oil refinery project in Tanzania. It's there on the front page. That's why you see President Ruto there. On the front page of Mwananchi, now in Tanzania they are just focusing on this report about the aftermath of the elections last year. So the report was finally handed over to President Samia Suluhu Hassan. Asema chanzo cha tatizo ni nani katika tume ya Jaji Chande, inaitwa the Chande report. Unakumbuka kama ile the Kriegler report? Kuna Chande report. Finally. Wanasema only 518, not only 518 people lost their lives. It's the same story on the front page of the Citizen. Wanasema way forward, as a report is given there to President Samia Suluhu Hassan. Let's come back and take a look at the cartoons. Caricature.
Let's see what's happening.
Kuna caricature pale ya The Star. Kuna jamaa amevaa zile gloves and ndondi.
Olkalau.
What they're saying is now...
By-elections have happened?
No.
They're about to happen.
Let me tell you what the speaker has yet to declare the seat vacant following the death of MP Keraho.
It's barely a month since he passed on. Yeah,
they actually really delayed. So I'm informed he actually declared. Sorry for that. But now it opens the war front between DCP and Nimeto Know It All. Kinakwambia our director is a problem.
Now you know he's going to pick on you considering what you're going through with Arsenal.
He is a problem. Na ni mtu wa Manu, lakini wote wanakuanga hivyo. Sikupenda kwao.
Don't talk about
I'm still struggling to look for them on that EPL table.
Top 3.
Top 3 na wako na 42 points. Unajua kuna watu wengine
wako na 58 points, please Freddy.
Anyway, so Olkalao Jubilee wanataka ile kiti, DCP wanataka ile kiti, Kindiki alisema yeye ndo atapata. So everyone is fighting for Olkalao. That's the cartoon on the Star. The Standard generally exposed kitu kwa Chan. Kasema kuna some 42 million ilipotea mahali. So Chan scandal ndio iko kwa cartoon ya The Standard today. Kenya issues around credibility. Yeah. The other one is the Daily Nation. You have it.
Let's have a look at the Daily Nation. Ni Dangote, kuna pale kwanza kwa petrol station. Dangote oil na Middle East oil. But the cans are empty. The jerry cans kuna watu hapo wanangoja mafuta lakini
haipatikani. Na unajua kitu moja, Nigeria they actually produce a lot of oil. Hiyo Dangote oil. But it benefits very few people.
Very few Africans.
In fact, the people closest to where the oil comes from, they are the worst affected.
But why?
Au pigana vita kila siku sababu ya oil. How come if we have oil in Africa from Nigeria, how come we're not using it?
Yeah, why are we struggling?
Strait of Hormuz ikifungwa kidogo hivi tunapiga kelele, tunalialia.
It's true. Unajua another juzi tu tumeenda na rafiki yangu alikuwa na fuel gari yake and the attendant was like you can only fuel this certain amount and he was trying to renegotiate like sasa niweke tu yenye nakwambia ama unataka niende pale mbele tu nipeane pesa kwa petrol station next and this guy was like yeah you know you can do that.
Unaweka kama anajua anaweza fanya hivyo, unaweka 500 hapo, unaenda next petrol station unaongeza 500, unaenda ingine unaongeza 200 mpaka ijae.
Wow. Sitakuwa imeisha by the time unaenda zote.
So kuna oil inatoka huko Middle East, ingine inatoka Nigeria lakini hatuna mafuta. That's a cartoon on the Daily Nation today. All right. So what else do we expect later on the show?
Today I am hosting one of my favorite artists right here in the 254 a member of Sauti Sol. I'm talking about the one and only Savara. I'll be having a conversation with him. We also have an artist all the way from Tanzania. He'll be joining us. He'll be telling us a bit about how Tanzanians are breaking records with their music. He does a genre called Singeli. I've always been interested to learn about Singeli. And guess what? Today we'll be learning about that with you. And of course, quite a lot is happening in the entertainment world. Tipsy G and Vera Sidika are out on Thailand having the time of, let me not say their lives, but they're vacationing together in Thailand. And of course, that relationship has sparked quite commentary on social media with people saying, oh, Vera Sidika can do better. Oh, why did you go for Tipsy G? But yeah, we'll be taking a look at that. And of course, many more trending stories, both locally and internationally.
All right. Before that, of course, being a Friday, we'll be having the youth perspective in matters leadership. Why do young people who say they're leaderless still believe that they need younger leaders as opposed to the older leaders? Do they have more trust in younger leadership as opposed to traditional politicians? Larry Chisiangani will be in studio. He's a UDA senatorial aspirant. He'll be here alongside Jared Oye from the ODM Youth League, Wazi Maina, an aspiring woman rep for Murang'a County in next year's election, and Alex Matere, MP aspirant Westlands through the Linda Mwananchi movement. So do stand by for that and keep sending us your comments and opinions, as well as comments and feedback on our social media pages. TV47 Kenya
TV47
on Facebook.
Digital on X.
Yes, and use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast. Hashtag Story.
Hashtag Story.
Yeah, before we take a break, let's take a look at the traffic situation in the city. All right, most of the major highways are building up slowly. Thika Road and not looking so bad this morning, all the way from Roiro past KU, Githurai, Kasarani, leo ni Nyue, but ukishafika pale Garden City Mall, it starts slowing down. And then once you go past the Mathare Mental Hospital, now mambo inakuwa gagna pale Pangani interchange. It has not affected Kiambu Road much, so watu wa Kiambu Road hakuna shida sana. Given that it's 1:30, usually traffic may build up sana, but looking at Jogoo Road, the only stretch that could be a bit problematic is that one from Makadara all the way to the Likoni Road roundabout. After that, heading towards City Stadium roundabout, it's looking Nyue, apart kidogo tu pale Shauri Moyo, but after that, you got a free drive or free ride into the CBD. Haile Selassie Avenue getting busy around Marikiti area, Landis Road, na pale Railways roundabout. The other major highway ni Mombasa Road, all the way from the airport. If you've just landed and you're watching us through your phone on TV47 Kenya, YouTube, where we're streaming live, you can actually see that all the way from Lolongo, the airport, past Cabanas into the CBD, it's looking green. The other side of town, ABC Place down past Pale Lion Place, Westlands, it's also looking good. The other side of town, hatakuna haja kuangalia, it's all green. Southern Bypass, Ngong Road, Langata Road, zote ziko sawa sawa. Ni watu tu wa Thika Road wako na shida, lakini sio sana. Na wale wa kutoka Utawala.
Watu wanaishingi Thika Road willingly. Like willingly. Like there's no gun pointed to your head. Like willingly.
Ulienda hapa aje Thika Road?
And let me tell you, kama kuna mtu wezi convince mtu wa Thika Road kumwambia hame Thika Road.
Ni ngumu sana. Kuna mwingine hapa anang'ang'ana ananiambia tuangalie traffic pale Street of Hormuz. Who cares? Let's take a break.
At 8:30 p.m.
Good morning. You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. You left me. Nitumie ni line.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea. The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tangu lini kero umeka kwa beauty product?
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
You won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
Stay fresh, stay safe.
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
On TV47.
This is definitely TV47 Breakfast, and that's a hashtag to use going forward. TV47 Breakfast. You can also use a hashtag Story Yetu. TV47 Kenya on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, where we're streaming live. If you're on X, it's TV47 Digital. And your feedback, any comment you may have about what we're discussing is very much welcome. We'll be sharing our WhatsApp number on your screens momentarily so that you can use that as well. Being a Friday, of course, it's a youth perspective. Young Kenyans and what their plans are ahead of elections next year. It is about 15 months to the next general election. We'll be having a panel made up of young politicians. One of them is already with us, Larry Chisiangani. He's a senatorial aspirant through the UDA party ticket. Karibu sana, Larry.
Thank you.
Let's start from here because it is only 4 days to the end of the mass voter registration exercise by IEBC. And the expectation was very high that young Kenyans would show up and register. Yes. But the numbers we are seeing, of course, IEBC will give us a proper report once they close the exercise. But we're not seeing that kind of enthusiasm that we thought would be there among young Kenyans. What is a problem?
Thank you for this opportunity. Allow me to start by saying that, of course, we have challenges where many youths haven't turned up because I think many of them civic education has not been conducted. So I think we still have a gap there where some youths feel left out and they don't know the importance of having that card. They don't know the importance of their vote. But from where I come from, Kakamega County, I want to applaud the youth from that county. We've had around 63,000 last week, as at last week, 63,000 youths who had come out to register. And from the previous reports, we are expecting that we are going to have around 230,000 more registered voters from Kakamega County. So
that was probably the projection.
That was the projection.
When the IEBC started this exercise. Do you think they'll get to that number, over 200,000 in Kakamega?
I believe in my people. I believe in the youths because they're turning up. Yeah, they're turning up, and I want to give them time, and I'm sure we are going even to surpass that projection.
You only have 4 more days. But you raised a very important issue there. Yes. You said about civic education.
Yes.
Yet we believe that this generation I'm talking about are mainly Gen Z who are probably registering to vote for the very first time in the next year's election, that they're among the most well-informed. They have access to social media. They have access to the internet. They were born in the age of the internet. So what civic education is missing among this population?
You see, civic education, my brother, you stay here in Nairobi. Youths in Nairobi, they understand all these, and that's why many people who are even registering to vote, most of them they stay in Nairobi, but they're registering in the rurals. But now, for those many youths who are there in the rurals, they're the ones who have lacked this civic education. Another challenge is ID cards, identification cards. I come from a region where people don't see the value of having an identification card. So how will you go to register as a voter when you lack these identification cards? So many of them, they have started by first applying these identification cards before waiting now to register as voters.
Yes, because yesterday on the dailies there was a lot of talk about the Speaker of the National Assembly trying to tell MPs that they should take charge of distribution of uncollected IDs, which are about 500,000.
Yes.
And I was even asking my co-host early this morning, what is the problem with these young Kenyans? For you to get an ID, it means you applied for it.
Yes.
So there are 500,000 IDs which are remaining uncollected. Why are young Kenyans applying for IDs and not collecting them?
But no one has told them to go and collect them. You won't know if it's ready. Let me tell you, my brother, I remember when I was applying for my ID card, I applied in the month of March. It was ready by May, but I came to learn of it in November. So the people who are in charge of issuance of identification cards are also let down. They are not communicating on time. So how will these people know that their IDs are ready? Because you cannot start taking yourself. In fact, many of them, they even don't know now which office to go to ask for their identification.
Surely. Gen Zs do not know where to go pick their IDs.
I'm telling you.
You know, 500,000 is such a huge number. At the constituency level, and you're an aspirant at probably a county level.
Yes.
The number of votes in that county could number probably 400,000.
No, we are at 800,000.
800,000. So the difference between one candidate and another, probably in any contest would be about 1,000 or 2,000, and that would be enough to declare a winner. Yes?
Yes.
So 500,000 people registering because they have IDs and they're eligible to vote would be a huge number, even at the national level. Yes. Remember the last time presidential aspirants, the presidential candidates, the main one, the difference was about 233,000. Don't you think that if at all this continues, the fact that young people are just simply reluctant to collect their IDs or register as voters could be the deciding factor in the next election?
It could be, it could make a very great difference, and that's why I also want to applaud the Speaker for telling the MPs to take charge, because they are the only ones who can go back to their constituents. They know their constituents well. They're the ones who should go back there and tell their constituents, go and collect your IDs.
But don't you see a problem there? Because fine, they could mobilize collection of voters. But according to the quotations I saw, the Speaker was asking MPs, elected MPs, to go and deliver those IDs to
That's what I'm
Do you think that is the right thing to do?
It is, because now the people are not even aware that their IDs are ready.
If
you will tell them.
You're a senatorial aspirant.
Yes.
If the current elected senator is given that opportunity to deliver IDs to the voters in Kakamega, don't you think that is way ahead of you? Because you are not getting the same opportunity.
No, but you see, I can help you secure your ID today. I can deliver it to you, but that does not guarantee that you're going to vote for me. The voting that is going to be there in 2027 is voting based on service delivery of this leader. Has this leader performed? You giving me an ID doesn't mean that I'll forget that there are roads that are not, that are impassable, you see. So I believe people are open enough not to take this as a bribe, that now because someone has given me an ID, now I need to vote for that person. People have really gone through, people have really learned much from my interaction with the people even on the ground right now. And we are going to have a change in this. So no one is going, even if the current senator takes there how many identification cards, it doesn't guarantee him a win.
What about the fact that any senatorial aspirant, and you're one of them, may not necessarily expect a blanket support across all regions of Kakamega? You know the pockets where you control. If you're given IDs to deliver to people, voters there, don't you think you will deliver fast to areas where you know you enjoy a lot of support, and in areas where you know my votes are not coming from there, probably you can withhold those IDs?
Now, as a good leader,
you're giving them a lot of grace.
No, I'm
sure they're all good leaders?
I'm telling you. Now I'm talking on for myself now. I'm not that leader who is supposed to be biased. This ID it's rightful for you. Why should I deny you just because you come from a region that I believe doesn't support me? You come from a constituency or a ward that I believe supports another person. It's your rightful share. I'll give it to you. At the end of the day, your vote is your secret. I'll not be there to know whether you'll vote for me or not.
Don't you think it would be safer if we left the distribution of uncollected IDs to what we call the provincial administration, the chiefs, the county commissioners, the deputy county commissioners? Don't you think they're the best placed to do this distribution?
In fact, chiefs are the best placed. But now, before it gets to the chief, let the member of parliament, if he has access to them, let him distribute them to the chief. The chief knows everyone in that in his locality. So I also don't have a problem with the chief issuing it, even if it's the provincial commissioner, but at least let them get out of those offices. I've visited those offices, and I can tell you, it's for sure you'll see piles and piles of ID cards that are there, still uncollected. Yes.
All right. The main issue of discussion today is on young leadership, as opposed to traditional politicians.
Yes.
You are a young aspirant.
Very young.
Do you believe that probably the new voters, the ones who are going to vote for the very first time, are really keen on younger leadership, that they would prefer their own, probably their peers or age mates for political elected seats, as opposed to the traditional politicians who've been there?
I believe leadership even is not about age. No one should vote for me because I'm a youth. No one should vote for another person just because this person is old or has been there for a long time. Leadership is about service delivery. So we are going to gauge the generation that I come from that is going to bring in more votes in the coming general elections. I'm sure they're going to vote in leaders, not based on their, I mean, we're going to vote in leaders based on their track record and not even their age or any other thing, or where whatever tribe they come from or locality. So it's about service delivery, and that's why you're even seeing we have challenges within the broad-based government where we have other people calling out for zoning, others saying there is no zoning. Mostly you'll find that those who are calling out for zoning, they have not been performing. Yet
they've been re-elected over and over.
Yeah, they've been really, you know, in the Nyanza region, the people had their one good father. May his soul rest in peace. So the moment he has endorsed you, you're sure a bit of winning. But now, going forward, now people are now going to look at your track record because he's no longer there to hold your hand and tell people that we need this person on board.
Okay.
Yes.
Even as we continue, I can see Jared Oye has made his way to studio. Jared, karibu sana on set. Jared is from the ODM Youth League. Even as we continue waiting for other young leaders to join us for this conversation. Jared, of course, today we're talking about young Kenyans and their preference for a certain type of leadership. And the question is, do young Kenyans believe in the younger leadership? Do they still find need for older politicians, the traditional politicians that we've, the ones that are actually using money to hire them as goons?
Thank you very much, Fred. Good morning. It's long since we're with you.
Karibu sana.
First, I think it's also very important maybe to add my voice on the voter registration and the ID, maybe if we come to the age question. There's one thing that needs to come out clear for our generation. If you're going to be pushed to register as a voter, there's high chance that you'll be pushed to go out and vote. I think, to me, there's no gap. We have just decided not to do the right thing as a generation. On the issue of the ID, to me, it is not fashionable for the politicians or the leaders to be the people to push the IDs to be taken or to deliver them to the ID owners. When you go to the registrar to be registered as an ID holder, I think they give you a period when it will be ready. And then I think we also have the local administrators, the chiefs. They should be the people, because they know the people in their localities and not the MPs, the MCs, and even senators. Let the senators, MPs, and these other elected leaders do what they're elected to do. And I think it's also very important for us. My brother, as part of Senator, is saying that we need civic education. I think this is something that it was all over on the social media, everywhere, in the main media streams here we are in TV47. People are sensitized to go and register as voters. Sincerely speaking, we're expecting a bigger turnout. But the question, as you're putting it, why did young people didn't turn out in big numbers to register as
They only have 4 days to go. The numbers, according to the IEBC, are not as they had initially projected. What is the problem here? Larry here says, and you've mentioned it correctly, it's a matter of civic education. But my argument is the young Kenyans enjoy a lot of information, access to the internet, access to social media. What other education or form of education are they waiting for them to register?
That's the tough question we're asking ourselves. I think it is no longer, Larry, I think it is no longer from civic education. It needs to be purely on political enlightenment and education. Because in most cases, we have always mistaken civic education to be political education. So young people or Kenyans do tend not to understand maybe the importance, why they need to vote. And at some point, it has been quoted over again and again that those who fail to turn up to elect leaders, they tend to have leaders they don't want, who are elected by those who participated in it. And I think we'll be having another phase, another window that will be opened by the IBC. We'll continue to sensitize young people to go out.
What would be the necessity of IBC conducting another mass voter registration, if at all the young Kenyans are not even taking advantage of this exercise?
No, they need to do it because there are people, you've already said we have around 500,000 IDs which are
uncollected.
But
don't you think that's the same problem, Jared?
Once these IDs are collected, we again need to register voters.
Jared,
there's a problem.
500,000 Kenyans applied for IDs. These are new young people, because most older people already have their IDs. 500,000 uncollected IDs. We start from there. Before they even want to register as voters, why are they not collecting the IDs?
That's the question. Even we, I think, I'll ask the senator as well, and I'm also asking myself, how are these people getting the government services without IDs? Are they documented citizens of our country? And how are they, in most cases, a good example, if maybe you want to have the services at at eCitizen. We expect someone who's above 18 not to use birth certificate. So I don't know. It is not civic education, Fred. This is purely on political education why they need to have this document. And again, it comes again to even our local administrators. We need to have documented citizens of our country. Having 500,000 who are above 18, who have already registered and not having this document with them, puts us in a very bad situation. And I ask ourselves that how many foreigners that we may be having in the country that who are not documented? If our own are not documented, it also puts a risk to our even our not only economical sphere, but even in our security sphere as a nation.
Why this reluctance to get involved in any of this?
Let me add something here. I told you, by the region that we come from, we do something. We do really sugarcane farming. I'm telling you, if you visit a sugarcane farm and find those people there who are cutting sugarcane and loading the tractors, most of those people don't have IDs, and because they are paid in cash. So they don't see the essence of having this ID.
And they're reluctant to access any other government services?
They don't see the need of having any. You take a boda, you tell him, let me send you on M-Pesa. He tells you, wachana nayo, just withdraw and give me. They are used to cash. So in the village there and like here in the city, things work differently, you see. So people still don't see the need of having an ID there. People will register their SIM cards using their mother's identification cards. Yes.
Well, that level of reluctance, don't you think, does it worry you that enough young Kenyans, over the past 2 years we were talking about the reawakening, the youth have come to political realization, now they want to get involved in their civic duties, but this level of reluctance, is it worrying to you?
Fred, to me it is worrying, and I think it will also come back to not only our political leaders, and today I think it will be more on our local leaders. They have disengaged our citizens. These people, a number, as Larry puts it, they're disengaged. Because you'll find that they're comfortable having maybe their grandmothers or mothers' ID registered under maybe example that in most cases we have been on the M-Pesa transaction, having the M-Pesa registered on their wives, some are having their wives registered and not them. So to me it is disengagement that the government and even the local administrators have been having with our citizenry. We don't have that coexistence that we feel free, we feel valued, and also we feel that we need to be part and parcel of the governance from local level to the national level. So to me it is worrying.
What would it take to change this? Because we assume that, and especially looking at the kind of activities, political activities that we've seen in the past 2 years, with the involvement in the budget-making process, what would it take to change this level of, to turn around this level of reluctance?
This ties to the question that you're asking, Larry, when I was coming in. On the, I'll say the young leaders. In the history of humankind, leave alone the Jesus, we come to Muammar Gaddafi, we come to Malcolm X, the young, ambitious leaders have always tended to live in the vision of the nation. And in our country, we have never had the chance to have the young leaders at the helm of the leadership. I'll give you an example of then during the fight of independence, immediately, the post-independence, when we had a young man, Tomboy. We all remember what he did when he was in the trade union as a young man, when he was in the minister of, I think it was Internal Affairs, I can't remember the specific ministry. Again, we can also remember, if you look at Botswana, what the young president is doing in that country. Go to Senegal, see what the MFI is doing there. Burkina Faso, those people question how we got into power. We feel that the young people, the young leaders who are living in the vision of the country, they tend to understand deeper. I'm pretty sure having a young senator, Larry, it will be very easy for him to bridge the problem and the gap, that disengage these young people not to be documented, for example. Again, we'll also remember in the history of our lifetime that though we need the older people to be around, and I think I'm seeing it differently. Today they need to be in the council to offer advices instead of them getting still actively engaged. When will they give a chance to new ideas, new visions to be realized?
But the question is, do young Kenyans really trust in the youth-led movements? Because if at all they did, a lot of things would change. They would pick their IDs in in readiness for next year to elect younger leaders. Do they really believe in youth-led movements as opposed to the traditional politicians?
They only believe in youths online, but not on the ground. I'll tell you that, because I've been there. You go to the ground and the same youths who told you, go for this position, we will support you. I'm telling you, Fred, without you giving them money, they can't listen to you.
They would still go for the older politician.
They'll still go for the older politician. Why? Because we have poverty. We have normalized poverty in our locals, you see. My brother has been saying something here that we really need to believe the old people need to be cancelled. Telling you it's a shame that we have people who are very old in this country. We've had them since time immemorial. Their names have been there in the public domain, but up to date, I'm a youth. And they are still also calling themselves youth. And even some are youth leaders. It's hurting, I'm telling you. We need the old generation to be our guide, to mentor us, to take a step back and say, our sons, step forward. Because we are the ones who hold the future.
But is the problem the old politicians, or is it the younger Kenyan potential voter? Because fine, you may say fine, the older politician is a problem, yet people still re-elect them over and over again.
Money.
Fred, I'm seeing it differently. It's not money first. I think even in the young demographic leadership, there are those who are not having vision. And I think in most cases they're the loudest. And they have made those who have vision to be sidelined. So they make young people, and even maybe those who are old, as we put it, discomfortable with maybe those who are visionary into the leadership space. You find, as they put it, I think it's also a popular say that the empty debate makes the loudest noise. And those who are not visioned, those who are at some point not disciplined in the leadership space and politics, they tend to at some point get the loudest applause and recognitions, sidelining the rightful individuals who are young, who have a plan, who are, I'll say, are aligned with the vision of the country.
So who are you blaming? Are you blaming the youth or the older politicians? Because it would appear you're laying the blame squarely at the doorstep of the older politician. Yet it's the people who are going to vote for you that we are talking about, the youth.
This is not a blame.
There's a problem with the youth. There's a big problem with the youths when it comes to electing of leaders. If the youths will continue voting with the mentality that our parents have always had, there's no change that we will ever have in this country. If the youths mind their future and stop thinking about today but think about tomorrow, that's the only time they'll make the right choices, by voting in leaders based on their capability and the vision that they have sold to them.
Right.
But our youth don't want the vision. They're only thinking of today.
Yes.
Jared,
it is the system that have put the youth to think in the present. And that just like our economic setup, a number of young people tell you they live from hand to mouth. Again, they'll value that 1,000 or 500 that it gets today over maybe a longer time investment. Fred and Larry here, we must remember that at the fight of independence, the young people who stood up and delivered the independence of our country. At the height of multipartyism, the young people who stood up and delivered multi-party into our nation. Today, in our generation, there's nothing clearly binding the young people to say that this is the reason why we need young people to take over the leadership of our country. We can't be, maybe in this case, be the chorus and singers of the one term and two term. They're not clear vision binding us as a people. I remember at the height of the Gen Z protest, we said that why didn't we not get it right? There was no clear binding mission and a vision for the generation. And we remember, in most cases, we've been trying to align our vision towards economic liberation. But we haven't charted that path clearly for a generation, for us to consolidate our thoughts, our voices, and even our energy alongside through that mission.
And the question is it because of lack of leadership?
Exactly.
Back to the same thing. Do the youth trust youth-led movements more than traditional politicians? We'll be back to discuss this on TV47 Breakfast. Taking a break now.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako. Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunywa maji.
Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tangu lini kero umeka kwa beauty product?
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Booyah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi. And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible.
Welcome back to TV47 Breakfast. My name is Fred Indemuli. I'm still in studio with Larry Chisiangani, who's a senatorial aspirant under the UDA party, and Jared Oye from the ODM Youth League. We're trying to examine this question: do you trust that youth-led movement? Do you trust youth-led movements more than traditional politicians? And a lot has been said about the younger Kenyan voter or potential voter and their involvement in politics, especially given the kind of events that we've witnessed over the last 2 years. But Jared, there have been quite a number of youth-led movements that always present themselves as trending hashtags. At some point, even at the height of the Gen Z protests in 2024, the same Gen Zs were demanding for the return of Fred Matiang'i because they were saying he's a preferred candidate. Months later, Matiang'i comes back and the Gen Zs appear to have moved on from him. Yes? Nico Kadi, the latest trending hashtag, pushing for voter registration, does not appear to have had that kind of effect on the Kenyan youth. So is it right to say that they believe in their own youth-led movements? Do you agree?
First, I'll start with the Nico Kadi initiative. We appreciate what Comrade Alan Ademba did, and I think in the voter registration, it contributed big in that basket. We must agree. It was young people drive. And in as much that a few turned out, but the greatest number I think, turned out during the Nico Kadi campaign. We have been asking ourselves at some point very toughest, sometimes toughest questions, turning the hashtags to realistic operations that are sustainable. I'll tell you, Fred, I'm from a political party and a youth league. In the youth leagues, these political parties, you'll find that we are the minority, and that's why in most cases we are called the special interest group, the SIGs. Inside there are very few young people who are in the structure of the party, of the league. I don't know maybe how Larry and UDA does theirs. And we have been in the forefront rallying young people to join this organized, structured political party arrangement, like now the ODM Youth League.
Is that an expression of confidence or lack of it to the youth-led movements? The fact that you've decided,
I'm coming to youth-led organizations that maybe, in most cases, they have been short-lived because they are formed out of I'll say, out of a short-term necessity. You'll find a good example after the Gen Z protest. Let me use that period. We had so many, if you can remember the Inject, Morara. It short-lived and then disappeared. We also remember we had, I think, a revolutionary something, which was led by Comrade Okayo. It came, it disappeared. And we have been urging young people, in most cases, to join structured youth-led organizations. For the Comrade Orengo, Kitovi Manyara, then Right Honorable Molodinga, CGH, to successfully lead the multipartism call, they were in a structured organizations. And they were the people who were on the Ford Kenya Youth Wing. Today we have Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the president, yes. The then days, it was in the YK92, which was on part of the structured organization that was the KANU then. We are going to have many, and we've been having many unstructured youth-led organizations because they are not attached. They don't have clear roadmap on where they are going. But from these structured organizations where we are coming from now, from the Youth League, we have a clear roadmap. So we have
Jared,
where we need to go.
If I get you right, you say youth-led movements, you do not trust youth-led movements. You prefer the traditional politicians.
No. Fred,
the structure you talk about.
The structure I'm talking about, I've given an example of the political party arrangements. The same happens to even I'll say that in the corporate world, where we have had very successful corporate organizations because they have a clear roadmap. That's what I'm talking about.
I think you're saying exactly that, Larry. The fact that you prefer the structures within an already established political party led by the traditional politicians, as opposed to the trending hashtags that do rounds on social media and fizzle out after a few months. You appear to be trusting the UDA party more than those ones.
Yes, I trust the UDA party because let me tell you, for you to survive, at least you need to be somewhere in a certain house. Now the Gen Zs are saying, we are there, we are partyless, we are tribeless. They are not organized. They are just scattered everywhere. So I better get in the system. We will change the system from within. Do you know what?
Yet 2 years ago, that was not the rallying call. You were saying by the tribeless, partyless, you did not want any involvement with parties.
No, from how I've understood how government operates, you really need to be structured. You need to be organized. This is what they say what the Gen Zs say. That, let me say it in Kiswahili. Usifukuze DJ kwa sherehe, sherehe itaisha. So we need to get into these systems, get into these ODM, these youth leagues. Yes. My brother is in one youth league that is also, that there are same parties also led by a youth leader, ODM youth leader. So we get into these parties, join those youth leagues, then fight from within that system. Then being scattered and disorganized with lack of direction. Hence we will fade off in a few days.
Yet we often criticize these leaders, these older politicians, their style of leadership, their backward way of thinking, we say that, corruption, things like even tribalism. We've accused them of all these things. So who offers leadership when these old leaders falter, yet you're saying you trust them more?
Fred, I think it's also need to come out clear. like now from the ODM Youth League. This is a semi-autonomous organ of the party. It's not an auxiliary part of the party. It's not an extension of maybe the mainstream party. Let me use two examples. I'll use the example of ANC in South Africa. ANC has a workable youth league that is operational. And I think at some point it have always given them the best leaders. Today, Julius Malema-led organization EFF was part of ANC Youth League. If you come to our neighbors here in Tanzania, Chama cha Mapinduzi, CCM, they have a very successful youth league. These are the peers where ODM fall in. ODM as a political party and ODM as a youth league, as you put it, this is a semi-autonomous structure of the party. It has its own constitution. It has its own leaders. It has its own plan that it runs throughout. It has its own budget that it need to have. So it is part of the party, but operates autonomously or from the mainstream. So we have the leadership, yes, of the mainstream. But again, the youth league need to and should. At some point, maybe it had appeared that it is just there, maybe to fill in the gap and also just to decorate the papers. But in action, and if you come to the Youth League, I think the most recent one that I can point out, we had our own NGC, the National Governing Council.
Yet you still don't control the party.
No, they're not controlling the party, yes, but they have their voice independently.
The kind of criticism, Larry, that has been directed towards leaders. Yes. And I think the biggest indictment was what the protests of 2024 showed, that they went to parliament, meaning that they did not agree with this old leadership. Yes? Yet now you come back and say, let them lead. We still have to come back to this structure. So when they fail, like they failed, then who takes up the mantle?
The systems will take up the mantle.
Not the youth.
Yeah?
Not the youth.
Not the youth. Let the systems. That's why as a government, the president has really focused on strengthening systems. You can see the parliament executing its mandate very well, the judiciary, and even the executive arm of government, and the people now themselves taking action into their own hands. So even when leadership falters, it doesn't mean that the leadership, that there is lack of leadership, that the leadership has collapsed. Let's have strengthened systems that can work, that the country can continue relying on, even when leadership falters.
What did they do to gain this level of faith back? Because in 2024, young Kenyans had very little faith in that level of leadership, the older politicians.
I don't know why they, it was politically instigated. It was the opposition really pushed the youth to feel like this government is against you.
Isn't that the same trap? Even these opposition leaders, yes, they're the same old politicians we're talking about.
No, but you see, at least from 2024, when the people decided to take up this mantle, see, I've told you when leadership falters, the system will take over, and part of the system are the people. When the people took over, we started having certain changes within the system that make us feel accommodated in the party.
Just before we take some feedback.
I think it's very important, as you put it. How did the leadership gain trust, or the young people gain trust of the leadership? And the reason why the Gen Zs lost, this we have said time and time again, because they were not structured, they were not organized. And that's why we have been not only sensitizing them to join structured political setups, that is from the youth leagues, where we will be able to consolidate, we'll be able to have our thoughts streamlined. And I think that's why, that's why if you're very keen, a number of young people, they have tried so hard to identify with political parties, to join these political parties. I think that's why maybe the trust comes back, which is very important for us. The Gen Z is losing on 2027, because 2024, losing from what though they gained, if they could have been structured, let's say the ODM Youth League, UDA Youth League, these other political parties Youth Leagues, we couldn't go to the street, because we could have consolidated our thoughts and petition it to the same parliament or relevant arms of the government to act upon the cries and faults from the young people the airs that they were feeling were not working for them.
All right. Let's get some feedback from those who are watching us. We do have some who've sent voice notes. Let's listen in to some of that.
Thank you very much. I go by the name of Mukuri Ndongo. Do I believe in youth-led movements? Yes. And this is my take. There's nobody. People say the future belongs to the young people. And I can tell you for a fact, there's no young person who wants to make their future worse. Actually, the people who are making the future worse are the old, because they know hawatakuwa your future. So yeah, the youth really want the best, either for the country, either for any industry. And another good example is June 2024. The youths did that purely out of love for this country. And there's no better motivation than love for your future. So yeah, I do believe in youth-led movements and their purpose.
All right. Thank you for that. And you can continue sending us such feedback, voice notes through WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number will be on your screen momentarily. You can also interact with us through our various social media pages, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram. It's TV47 Digital on X. So let's use an example of this date that we will be probably marking the second anniversary, June 25th.
Yes.
Of the events of the protests in 2024. But even months ahead, we're already seeing political leaders, both from the Linda Mwananchi movement and you've seen even from the United Opposition, but they're already angling to join the protests there. And do you accept this kind of leadership, that as a young Kenyan, politicians will be quick to come into the space where it has been the youth who've been leading?
I'm not comfortable because they're the ones who bring in confusion, and they've always been there. Even during that finance bill protest, anti-finance bill protest, the same politicians who want to join in this 24th June anniversary, they're the ones who diverted the call of these finance bill demonstrations now to turn into political. Youths were not out to demonstrate that, youths were out to demonstrate for the change in the finance bill. Okay, they didn't want the finance bill. Mm-hmm. But now the same politicians who now want to come in and celebrate this anniversary, they're the ones who now came in and started saying that so and so must go. That was not the plan of the youth. Mm-hmm. So I don't support, again, these same old politicians joining the movement again. Mm-hmm. The movement should be left to the youth. The youth are the ones who know what took them to the street on that particular day. And again, they're the ones who know why they need this anniversary. The politicians, the old politicians don't know. Mm-hmm. So they should leave it to the youth. All those brigades that you've called them, I don't call them Linda Mwananchi. I call them Linga Mwananchi because of how they throw tear gas at Mwananchi anytime they have rallies. And the other one, the United Opposition, they shouldn't take advantage. I saw them, they already took advantage of this Tukokadi initiative thing. So they should stop riding on the ideas of the youth and come up with their own ideas. Mm-hmm. Yes.
They say that that level of political leadership is keen on surviving more than service to Kenyans. Yet you appear to have gone back and now showing a lot of trust on them, Jared. Do you agree that probably you've lost direction there?
You haven't lost direction. First, I'm disagreeing with my brother, Senator Larry. There are politicians who are having pure good intention to offer guidance and also offer their long-term experience that they've been having. And from the background where we are coming from, politically, from ODM, I think we have been on these streets for the longest time, since the inception, or since the birth of the ODM party in 2005. When maybe someone like Senior Councillor Rengo maybe decided to join, it may join out of experience and also guidance. And then there are those who may come in to hijack it with their own self-interest, I'll say bad intention. Again, as not that we are saying it is youth-led. Remember the youths, they are coming from the families. What if my parents join in protest? The father of Rex Masai joins in protest. And not in protest, but in an anniversary of his son. I think there's no bad faith. These people joining this anniversary. That is one. Number two,
Jack's father is not a politician.
Yes, exactly. I'm coming to that. Number two, it's also very important that we don't need to label it purely on a youth demographic. The problem that is at some point hitting Kenya is not only hitting youth. It's only that youths, then at that point, they are the best invention way of passing the message, which was one of the we'll say one of the smartest online campaign ever done in our country and in the history of our region that have never been seen before. And I think it's also a wake-up call to everybody that it is possible we can come out, have our voices heard of the political organizations, because a number of them were not politically aligned. That's why they were saying they were leaderless, they were partyless, something like that, which of course some of us felt was the biggest undoing to us. And we have also asked a question on, do we now gain trust of this, some of these politicians coming in? Yes, I do. Personally, there are those I gain trust in. I don't know why you'll call some of ODM quarters some funny names. But there are those who we believe if they come in not only just to be seen or to hijack, but also to offer what is necessary for these young people, not to do it the wrong way or not to miss the point or the purpose of the anniversary.
It was also said that quite a number of those people, and this is a question I'd asked you, are simply in this for survival, not really to serve Kenyans.
I may agree with you, and if I may start by by this point of the united opposition, I think in the same studio I asked one of them when they were here from their youth league that what are they offering Kenyans before saying Ruto must go and one term? Can you give us the best alternative or a solution to our problems? When they were saying that the fuel price was high, what alternative are they having? Not calling on maybe the protest. Protest may not reduce the price at the fuel pump. So that is one. I think some hijack it to survive, and also today we have also been seeing politicians who want to trend unnecessarily. They want to be TikTok stars and Twitter celebrities to a point that they are losing and forgetting that they need to offer a solution to our problems. We don't expect our leaders to complain. When they complain now, what do we expect those of us who elected them to be in those positions to do? It's the same way if you're at home and then your son or daughter asks you a milk, then you complain that you may not be able to offer. Even if it's not there, you'll find a way of consoling him or her. It's the same case with our leadership. That's what we expect from them. They don't need to be TikTok stars, Twitter trends, and IG stars. They need to be solution-oriented and offer solutions or alternatives to the problems facing not only the youth demographic, but the country as a whole.
Yes. What do you feel about that?
I think these people, what they want is they don't want to be honest with their citizens. They only want to please them for a short while. So they hijack everything. The fuel prices have hiked. Let's go to the streets and demonstrate. Is that a solution really? I don't know, we have a problem with each other. That SHA is not working. Instead of them coming up with solutions, they now want to take the youth to the streets. I like them. I saw the other day another one was asked, which plan do you have for the country? And he said, I don't want flashy things, I don't want shiny things. So you wonder, Kenyans, the way I've understood Kenyans love shiny things. That's why Kenyans are even more interested. Why, by the way, did I even join this government? I've seen shiny things. When I heard the president talk of Singapore, I started imagining now Kenya looking like Singapore. I started seeing the roads that he's constructing, the SGR, we have the stadiums. Who doesn't want flashy things? Those are the kind of development that you want. So instead of them coming up with offering alternative solutions, they want to hijack everything and use them just for survival. And that's why most of them don't survive. The other one, you've been talking of people being hyped. The other one was being hyped the other day when he was in US. He traveled, he quit his job, he came back, but he didn't give an alternative solution. That's why he was left stranded.
So where is this alternative solution going to come from? Because the entire, and back to the issue of the kind of faith or lack of that the youth had in political leadership, and it's not just the opposition, it's across board. So where is the faith coming from now? That these same people who have not been able to offer alternative leadership, that they're going now suddenly, whether through the structures in ODM or UDA, offer an alternative?
No, but UDA, we've had a plan before. I think ODM now, they're using our plan. But you...
no. That is not plan about
UDA, we already had a plan. It is up to the opposition to come up with their own alternative. It's not us again to give them an alternative. We are working, this is our plan, we've related to them that our plan, this is our plan, taking Kenya to Singapore, and Central and Central.
So you're comfortable with the kind of leadership we have at the top level, the old politicians, you're okay with that?
Of course, not all. Not all old politicians make sense. Some of them have what they say, wamezeeka vibaya. The few who are making sense, the few who I see they are interested in the vision, they're interested in long-term solutions. See the things to do with, even I can see on the magazines, we have a digitalization of programs. These are long-term solutions. These are solutions that you don't need. I mean, as a leader, you don't need to please everyone. At times, you have to make these hard choices. So if a leader is not willing to make these hard choices, it makes him just to be there for a short while.
Yet the agitation, or rather youth-led movements, keep rising.
Yes.
We may say they're short-lived, but keep rising. And those old politicians have realized this, that a trend will come up, and within a few months it will go down. They're angling to take advantage of that. Do you think the Kenyan youth are even concerned that they're going simply to do the bidding of these older politicians come 2027, that the expectation that the younger voter would make a difference is no longer there?
Fred, maybe before coming to maybe the younger vote making difference, there's a question that you have asked Senator here. On the spirit, in the spirit of Raila Amolo Odinga, in his period as outstanding, iconic leader and opposition leader in the country, it was oppositioning with solutions to the problems. And that's why we are calling upon those who are in the other side and those who are feeling things are not running right. They need to step forward and offer solution or be solution-oriented to the problems of the country. You have asked about the IPs, and I think we have seen the history of this from Matiang'i. We remember Maraga. We remember
even Morara
Kebaso. We have seen it coming, but not sustainable, and that's why we have been forefront offering sustainability of turning these hashtags and trends and hypes into long-term structural engagement with these young people. We don't need to delusional that we can change a nation in a day unless we have organized ourselves for a revolution, which of course the country Kenya is not ripe for today as we talk. On the plan that he has talked about, we are not using your plan, my brother. ODM as a political party have had this plan from 2005, from 2007. And today, if you check the Azimio manifesto, I think that's why if you go to the 10-point agenda that we signed with you, you will see that there were clear implementable 10-point agenda from the ODM side. There were 5. From our side, I think we also had 5, which of course we're expecting them to be implemented. Though at some point we feel that they have never been having good faith implementing.
Isn't that a concern?
That's a concern to us.
Because that's the same question we're asking, that these politicians come up with plans that sound very nice, but then they falter in implementation, and you appear you're okay with it.
We're not okay. Fred Wilson, we are okay. We are not okay. And from the league I'm coming from the quarter I'm coming from, we can't say that we're using someone's plan. That's one of the best properly organized political party, not only on purpose, but even on the ground.
Are you still organized?
We are still very organized.
Jared, the promise for youth employment was there in the NADCO report. I think some of that has been captured in the MOU. These are things that have been agreed upon by the same politicians. None has been implemented.
We expected the president goodwill to implement it. ODM is not part of presidency. It is purely UDA. And that's where the goodwill lies. So we expect him to implement it. And I think there are talks, yes, that we are also keenly watching. We are interested in, as young people from these political parties, on how it is going to go. And there's a question you also asked, Fred, that we don't need to let it go, but are young people going to make impactful change with their vote come 2027? Yes, we expect them. And I think 15 months, now it is 15 or 14 months, I think it's quite long. We can still do something. Besides, as we put it, that we have been saying time and time again, we are not going to do it normal way. We have a youth convention this Sunday in Malindi, in Kilifi, I mean, of the ODM Youth League. It will be a platform and a chance to engage the young people at the grassroots, not only the ones in the city.
Impact, that's why
I'm giving example. I'm giving example, Fred. I'm giving what we are doing. For the young people, for the young people to get engaged, for their vote to make change. Are you still not bidding? And
this was a question. Are you still not bidding for the same old politicians?
Let me say something about this.
I'll come to you.
Before Maliza, acha nikukati kidogo. You know, these people are calling for youth conventions and paying those youth to come for those youth conventions. Youth conventions should start with the leadership of the party. Has your party embraced youthful leadership? Come to our party, UDA. Who is the majority leader in both houses? Youths. Who are your majority leaders? There's some. Let's not talk about them. So when you talk about youths and these parties, and you are very objective with your party, you're talking about youth involvement and everything. The only party right now that is focused on youth, it's UDA.
How exactly is it?
I'm telling you from our leadership.
Because I'm seeing it's the same thing. You're all bidding for the same old politicians, even heading towards 2027.
No,
will you be doing anything different?
We will be doing something different because our people are not old. There are also people who can lead in front here. We are not being led by age.
It's not even about the older, the age. It's not about the age. It's the old thinking by the older politicians.
No, but they are involving us now there. That's why we have youths like us. That's why we have even other youths in different positions in the party. Our party, by the way, is led by youths only. Go visit our offices any day, any time. Youths are the ones who have taken charge. What about your party?
Yes, Bwana Jared.
Yeah, I'll come to him. I partially agree with you on some. Saying that you are going to the ground to engage young people on how their vote can make impactful difference come to 2027. Fred is saying that we pay youths to come to our to the youth convention. It is not true, my brother. Those are youths who have been drawn from polling station, from ward, from constituencies that we call branch, now to the county. And then it's not only Malin, that is a regional thing. From all the six counties in the coastal region. So we're not paying these people. Maybe facilitation, they may be facilitated to the venue, but we can't pay the structured youths who are in the league of the party. You have asked me maybe what the party is doing with the youth. I think it's also very important. But again, this is a work in progress. We have been around for some good time. The PS Fikrini was a youth in ODM party. So we have never formed government. They have formed government. That's why he can point out that they have youths in these positions, they have youths in this position. Fred na tena tukumbuke. Hawa wamekuwa na pesa ita wajai tupe. Hadi ya leo, ODM is struggling to operate and carry their operations. And that's why we have been also telling them, we are friends, yes, but you seem not to be good brothers for us. Why can't you release the parties?
Money cannot be released. Money cannot be released to their party when they are scattered. They have, I think, three factions. ODM as a party, they have three factions.
All right.
They're coming to broad-based telling us we have leaders, but we don't want leaders. We want Mwananchi.
Right.
We want the...
Let's sample some of your feedback here. And there's someone who's correcting Larry when you said that Rex Masai's dad is not a politician.
Yes.
He says that he's actually running for the second time as MCA Kayole Northward. I didn't know that, and I don't know how factual that is, but that's just
I've
the feedback.
learned about it
That's just the feedback we're getting. Someone else says, greetings, Fred and the panelists. Once Supreme Court judges use the term hot air, and this is what we see when we listen to these youth. Street language, moto ya makaratasi. They are really leaderless and clueless. Form a party together and remove those olds you don't want. That's a feeling by someone. And we also do have a voice note here. Let's listen into what this person has to say.
the question on who leads when leaders falter, I can just say other leaders will lead us. And on the question on who leads when leaders hesitate, it should be us who should lead when these leaders hesitate. But you know, these leaders are always very bright. They know what will get them relevancy each day. Political leadership is at a crossroad. Yeah, not lie, a lie. Nairobi is either you serve or you survive. If Sakaja wanted to serve us, he could have been impeached by the government side. So it's about weighing. Do I please the government or I please the people? And most times, these people will please the government than the people. Sonko tried to please us and he was impeached.
He does make sense, don't you think? That the more things change, the more they remain the same. Leaders will simply move more towards their survival than service. We still have one more voice note. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much. I go by the name of Mukuri Ndungo. Good morning, everyone. Who leads when leaders falter? It's the people, it's the citizens, it's the electorate. Why am I saying this? The voice of the leader is always the agenda of the people. And if the most courageous person in the group has shied away from talking about it, then the people have to take up the mantle. Good morning, everyone. I go by the name of Mukuri Ndungu. Who leads when leaders hesitate? Once again, it's the people. Because when the leader is silent, the issues to be addressed are not yet silent. The difference is they're not being addressed, or nobody is taking up the mantle to change the situation. So who leads when leaders hesitate? Once again, it's the people. Until you get what you wanted to accomplish, you can be the leader, either young, either old. It takes the bold person in society to pick it up. The same way the youths have taken the bold mantle of leading this country as we speak.
The youth have taken up leadership. He says it's the people who take it up. But it looks like you people have decided that it's the same politicians who you look up to actually still do the things they've never done. NADCO report, no implementation. MOU, no implementation. Where are the people? Why are they not demanding the implementation of some of these promises? Jared.
I think, and I believe, we remember that we said that we were expecting the UDA party, or not UDA, but Kenya Kwanza government, to fully implement the NADCO and the 10-point agenda that we signed with them. And I think this was one of the things that was binding us until 2027. We are still optimistic and hopeful that in fullness of time, they'll be able to implement these agreements.
It's almost 2 years later.
We are still optimistic.
What gives you the optimism? They've not done it over 2 years. Huh?
Let's give them a chance. Maybe they'll implement it.
Maybe. It's 15 months to the next election.
Exactly. 1 year and some months.
Yes.
So I don't know why they have never had. We are not having the goodwill. At some point, there's just...
Why? How come Kenyans are not demanding implementation of some of these things that have been agreed upon?
Kenyans tend to forget so fast. Kenyans, at some point, I think they move on. And that's why the leaderships have always tried to keep off from their plans. And Fred, when you ask, I'd say it's a good question. It's tied not only to this promise that not only to this agreement that we have with them. We remember from 2013, after the elections, when the Jubilee, it was the TNA URP came into power, they gave promises to the country that they didn't implement. When they had the second term as Jubilee Party, they didn't. That is 2017. They didn't implement the promise that they gave the nation. Today, we are in 2022. We have the Kenya Kwanza government. We expect them to deliver to the promise that they gave the country. And that's why this also part of the signed agreement between ODM and UDA, that we expect the UDA that's running the government to implement these agreements. This is one of the key disengagement point that the citizens of our country, and to be specific, the young people, find it fashionable to disengage because you promise and you don't deliver. So they feel like, why must I? Why should I? We expect accountable leadership. You promise, you deliver. Why do you promise if you can't? Number 3 on the same. From the party I'm coming from again, we are documented. That's why we can follow up from the 10-point agenda. But it's vis-a-vis of the other side that you promise and document that you can't follow up on the things even promised 2 months ago. And that's why we have been finding it difficult. We expect them to deliver.
Yet your party and your party leader are still keen on forming a coalition with this party that is yet to deliver, even on the MOU. If you look at the front page of the Star today, it has a picture of the same leaders.
Yes.
Now they're looking to form a coalition. The same 2 parties that agreed on a MOU that is not delivered yet. And as you say, you're hoping they will deliver. Where are you getting this hope from?
Let me start by reminding him, now that your party came to work with us, we are not Kenya Kwanza nowadays, we are a broad-based government.
No, we don't have any broad-based agreement. Fred, we need to, this is a national TV, and this is a national TV, and the Kenyans are watching. We don't need to mislead.
We are called broad-based government.
I think we are not here for PR stand, please, brother. We don't have any agreement already deposited by the political parties. The broad-based stuff is unofficial. We must agree.
Let me say, it's called the broad-based arrangement.
But if you look at this picture, Jared, there's a lot of camaraderie.
This part of the engagement. We are still, I think from the structure, that's the Central Management Committee of the ODM party, they gave them the mandate to start talking to other political parties. That's the same way we have a Wiper talking to DCP, we have Jubilee talking to DAPK. The same way
let me tell you one thing.
ODM is talking to UDA, but there's no agreed document that you can say that we are already in a
well said. But you've already agreed on a number of issues that have not been implemented, Larry.
I know he's living on denial, but you see, he's saying here they're not with us in broad-based, but they are singing with us 2-term. So we have, of course, we have hesitation in delivery of some promises. And you know, our country, we are living in this is a democratic country. We don't want to make decisions. It's not a one-man show. We have to make consultations. We need to bring on board stakeholders. We need to bring on board the cabinet, the parliament, and the people to help us come with solutions that are better for this country. So we cannot just rush to make decisions just because there are people who want to work with us. We have to do further consultations, because at the end of the day, the decisions that we are making should be for the best interest of this country, not for certain individuals, not for a certain group of people. So I don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with all those promises, the 10-point agenda. All of them, they are on course, and the president is working every day to see how he's going to deliver on them. So it's a matter of time. So, bro, patience. Yeah.
Even you're hoping that
I'm 100% sure that all these demands, and I'll always be coming here. I'll always tell you, any day we deliver, I tell you, work a tick. Yes.
All right. But now you're comfortable that you can get into another agreement and make more promises to even your party members. And you're okay with that?
We are okay with that only if they'll come with the people. You know what matters is the people. We want numbers. We don't want...
Is this the kind of leadership you even from your political leaders, from your party leaders, and you come from different parties, is this what you anticipated? That there would be this much confusion? The demands have changed from implementation of the MOU to now respect and issues around zoning. We've forgotten definitely the promises that were made. Was this what you expected from your party leadership?
Fred, you see where we are coming from and where we are?
Yes.
It's not a one-day thing, and that's why if you have initiated the conversation with the UDA party, it is not the end. This is just the beginning of it. You talked about confusion. I think we are coming with clarity, and our clarity at some point tends to at some point may appear as a confusion, but it's not confusion. Like you have talked about respect and zoning. I think respect is not on the negotiating table. Those are statements being made because, again, we are here, we all know why the leadership and the structure of the party, the Central Management Committee, said that if you're going to negotiate and get into coalition with any of the political parties in the country, we're going to where we are respected. That is one. Number two, we have had zoning before, even in 2022. Then they were in one political party, and in that one political party, they didn't field candidates in Ford Kenya region. That is in Bungoma, maybe. We from then Azimio, we didn't field candidates in the blue zones in Wiper zone. We didn't field candidates in Jubilee, where Jubilee was stronghold. We didn't field candidates in Dapkwe, where Dapkwe was strong in our coalition agreement. It's the same conversation we are having with maybe the UDA, if we'll agree. It's the same thing. If they have the yellow zones, let yellow zones be yellow zones, let orange zones be orange zones.
Isn't that only about survival?
That's about survival.
It's not about survival. It's not about survival. It's about the coalition party or the coalition members gaining the highest numbers in both the assemblies, but in the number of governors.
Let me ask you one question.
Kidogo Broni.
If this is a zone.
Okay, Jared. You get to ask your question.
Relax.
Yes.
For us, let me use the example now, like now in Nairobi. We have areas that we are pretty sure that maybe will shift to maybe DCP. And it's an area that ODM, UDA combined can beat DCP. If you're going to allow ODM, UDA, and a DCP candidate to be there are chances that the DCP individual may pass and may get the seat. Those are the things we're trying to avoid. It's not about survival. We don't want to survive. We want to have strength in numbers from the coalition partners that we are working with.
Don't you think that denies the voter on the ground their main choice? That if at all there was a better candidate from the UDA party in Luo Nyanza, that the voter is the one to decide, but by zoning and only fielding ODM candidates, the voter loses out.
Why is it a question today? We've said it here, Fred. First, it's not denying the voters the democratic right to elect the leaders or a better
of their choice.
Leader of their choice. During nominations, we give all the candidates chances to battle it out for the ticket of the party. I think that's the point that we expect the citizens, we expect wananchi to elect the leaders of their choice at the polling or at the nomination. It comes to now we have ODM, UDA example, we have PA, we have Ford. For us to have the majority leadership, for us to have the strength in numbers, we will need to have and we must have zoning. But it should be, it can't come at first thing at the negotiating table. That's the thing. But we have had it before. What's it hurting today? Right. We had it in court. We had it in NASA.
Why are you so opposed to zoning from a UDA standpoint?
Fred, let me tell you. These people are saying that this is an orange zone. This is a yellow zone. But now, why fear? If this is an orange zone, even if I come to vie there with this yellow color of mine, people won't vote for me if that is their zone.
Something you're not understanding.
And you are the people who talk of democracy. Democracy means I can use any party anywhere. Let me tell you, today the only national party that we have, a party that is accepted everywhere in this country, is UDA. UDA, they are scared because they know if UDA fields candidates in those regions, they are going to lose. We are going to have more UDA elected members of parliament, even governors. We can have even governors from Nyanza region. That's why these people are scared.
Why are you framing it to Nyanza?
When you say that you want this zoning thing, how many people failed to turn up to vote in Luo Nyanza, in the Nyanza region, in the previous election? Around, I think, 600,000 people. You'll find these people, they fail to turn up because their people are not on the ballot. Their people were denied this chance.
Their people were given direct tickets
and
by the party.
By the way, there are people who are even given the direct tickets in that party. So they want us to do this zoning thing so that they can continue with people being given direct tickets. Let us have fair competition. Whether you'll have more numbers or not, we are in this coalition agreement together. It's up to your people to sell their manifesto. It's up to your people to work right now for them to be re-elected on that party or to get another party. But if it's difficult with that split that you have again there, you can as well join UDA so that we have one party.
Why Jared, demand for zoning when probably you could have in the coalition joint primaries, that any member, as long as they are in the coalition, can have joint primaries?
We can't have joint primaries. These are different political parties, and they are run differently. So if you are saying that, I think a good party that you have been in coalition with for the longest is Wiper, 15 years. And I think they respect and they knew how coalitions are being built. Coalitions are not being built on noise, as they put it. We're not going to listen to the noises. I'm going to use American model example. That's very much a democratic country, as they put it. We have the red zones, that is the Republicans, and then you have the blue zones, the Democrats. And that's a very mature nation that people know. I think a stronger political parties give strength to our democracy. They hold our democratic space, fabrics together. If a weaker ODM, a weaker UDA, a weaker Wiper, a weaker DCP weakens democratic space and democracy of our country. And that's why we need this stronger party. And strength is felt in numbers, not only membership numbers, but even elected leadership in these political parties. It's saying that maybe it is fear. To us, it is not fear. These are strength and these are strategies and tactics of getting into coalition, and these are the points, I'll not say points, but tactics of negotiation. Why do we negotiate if you can't respect and also value and see what you're bringing in space? The reason why UDA reached out, or for us to have the broad-based arrangement, we came because ODM had numbers both in the assemblies, and we need to retain and gain those numbers. ODM without numbers, even UDA will not engage us, I'll tell you. Number three, that you must agree, these people are coming from a point of advantage. This is the party, I'll say this is the party in governance. This is the party of state. They have resources, they have intelligence, they have everything. So it is very difficult going into maybe an agreement or battling out with them, with the people who have resources and holding your money, with the people who have intelligence and you are not consumers of the same intelligence. And these are the reasons why we must agree. Why do we need to respect and have orange zones remain orange zones? And again, Fred, we have been here before. Though this is a small political party, it has been, I think, it's only that it's a party that is running the government. But in history and even in membership, if you go and check, we all know that you can't brag about maybe a political party. The Kenyans know. We don't need to remind them and tell them. Where we are, this political party have never been in any coalition. I think they only had one, the Kenya Kwanza one, which of course they collapsed all the sister political parties that they had. ODM cannot be collapsed to favor and to join UDA, as you put it. We can't collapse ODM as you are thinking. That's imaginary, will not happen.
Right.
It's also very clear, Fred, that we must also, in this show, we're not here just to throw words up. I think the viewers respect what we're doing here. Because you can't tell us that UDA is the biggest party, we collapse ODM and join you if you don't want. So such, I think, also shows the kind of leadership that we are having in the UDA.
Larry, final comment about a minute or so.
Battle before anything. He has called our party like a small outfit, that we are just young, we've started recently, but at least we've tested power. We are the ones who are still looking for power with all with your 20 years or whatever anniversary that you've recently had. My last remarks are these: we need to respect democracy. The zoning issue. We are not going to limit anyone to vie on a certain party just because it's from a certain region. We should let it open. We are youths in this country, my brother. Let's be honest. What happens if I'm not sure of getting a ticket in ODM? What happens when I'm not sure of getting a ticket in Ford Kenya? I must get an alternative party. I shouldn't be limited that just because I'm from Kakamega County, I should now limit myself to ODM because they think Kakamega is an ODM zone. Kakamega has been an ODM zone, and many of these things that you are calling zones and zones and zones, they have been ODM zones because of one person, and this person, may his soul rest in peace, he left us. So right now you have to build yourself from the grassroots. Secondly, we didn't get into a coalition with ODM because ODM has, I don't know, numbers in
We
the
are not in
assembly,
coalition.
assembly and in both, I don't know, National Assembly, Senate, and even County Assembly. We went into a coalition with ODM because we knew they had the numbers of the citizens, of the voters. We are more interested in the voters than even the leaders. Because for you to acquire power, you need the voters. You don't need leaders. I don't need today to have members of parliament from Kakamega supporting me for me to be a senator. I need the voters.
Okay.
So, ODM, you need to fix first your house, come back together, work together, bring the numbers. Don't bring us leaders. We don't want leaders. We already have leaders.
All right. Jared, final words.
Thank you very much. I think there's some that I'll not respond to. They are unnecessary to me, and I think to the party as well. This party has never been built around personality, and I think the founding party leader was very clear. And our last NGC that he had with us in Boma said that he would love ODM to live beyond Raila Amolo Odinga, which of course we are still pursuing. This party is built on structure from the polling station to the national level. On the zoning, we leave this to the leadership and the structure of our political party, ODM, for them to do what they need to do. We entrust them that they'll deliver, and if possible, if maybe we may not be able to get into coalition of any, then ODM have capability to run as independent party come 2027. I think it's also very important for young people. In the 4 days remaining, there's still a room they can turn up, register as voters, and we expect them that as they register as voters, they also need to get themselves and to join this political party. This is where the policies that run the nation are being made. We are where we are because UD and Kenya Kwanza's policies that are getting us where we are. Let us get in these political parties, influence these policies, and be part of these policy-making bodies.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And yes, indeed, 4 days left before the mass voter registration exercise. The 30-day exercise comes to an end, and the IEBC will announce its results of just how many new voters are on the register come next week. Thank you so much, Jared Oye from the ODM Youth League, and Larry Chisiangani, from who's a senatorial aspirant with the UDA party. Asanteni sana for your voices. In the youth perspective, this being a Friday, it is a Feel Good Friday. So after the break, Bansi Kumuyu, our weekend Q, will be telling us what else we have on the show. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. Have a lovely weekend.